Welcome back to my Editor-in-Chief desk where I help you live and work like a writer. In my last video, I talked about how to approach blog post writing, and now I have actual topic examples that you can use and adapt to your own purposes. The first type of blog post is a story. Yes, you can tell a story through a blog post. What you're thinking about here is like what I talked about in my last video, what your audience wants to hear about. What type of story would help them? If you have a gardening blog, what type of story from your own gardening experience would help them? So when you're thinking about stories to tell your audience, you want to locate a main point, a goal of the story, and then just go through with a beginning, middle, and end, like any typical story, and you can do that in a blog post format. It's an engaging type of article because people love stories, and you can share more about your perspective and your point of view through the stories that you tell. So this type of blog post will really help your readers connect with where you're coming from. The second type of blog post you could write is a tutorial. This is when you go into a step-by-step guide and help your readers with something that they need to accomplish. The third type of blog post is promoting other people in your space who you really like. This is not sponsored content, it's not overly promotional content, but there are probably other people who do similar things to you or do things that complement your work that you like. They may be your friends, they may just be peers that you want to connect with, but you like what they do, and then it's helpful for your audience if you tell your audience about them, where to find them, your favorites within whatever they do, and how they can find them and use them, and how they will benefit from them. The next type of blog post is related. It's a product review. So it could be the same people that you talked about in the last type of post. Maybe you introduce your audience, your readers, to a friend of yours or a peer, or maybe just someone you don't know whose work you like in one post, and then in a different post or a subsequent post, you review their products, you review what they do, and you explain your experiences with that product. Or it could be from just other things outside of the more complimentary content creators that you talked about. It could just be something that you have no personal involvement with, just sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a blind test, but just say, oh, I heard about this. It could be not something you're already familiar with. It could just be hey, I just heard about this product, or I wanted to try this product. Wasn't familiar with their work before. Let's see how it goes, and then you explain that in a blog post. The next type is a behind the scenes of your work life. Just like on YouTube, when people have their day in the lives or behind the scenes, you could do that in written content in your blog post too. Like stories, it's a type of post that helps your readers see a little bit more of who you are and everything that goes into making your content. Next type of post is also similar. It is one that is focused on describing your philosophy or your approach to your topic. Here's where you kind of strip down the more professional side of your writing and just say, hey, this is where I'm coming from. This is why I love what I do. This is why I love what I write about. This is my philosophy that sets me apart from other people in this space, or this is my philosophy that makes me similar to people in this space, and that's why I love what I do. Whatever your approach is, whatever your philosophy is, it is related to the behind the scenes where your readers get a more intimate look at why you produce content and why it matters to you. The next type of post is industry news. You almost become a little bit of a media outlet when you do this type of post. You stay on top of anything that is newsworthy in your industry, and then you put a fun spin on it and make it a blog post. So rather than just giving the facts like a news article, you can, add the more personal details that are appropriate on a blog. So it's a spin on a news article, but it helps keep your readers up to date with the news, but they get it from your perspective. The next type of blog post is about events. So you could either announce upcoming events in your space that are related to your topic, or if you've already gone to them, you could give a recap, give highlights, give any relevant information that might be of interest to your readers. So it's kind of two topics. You're getting two topics for one here with events, because there are different ways that you can approach talking about events, whether you're just announcing them or you're reporting from actually going. The next type of blog post is an interview format. They are not just for podcasts. So you can find someone who your audience would be interested in hearing from them, and then do a written interview, just like a feature article in a magazine that displays an interview with someone who readers of the magazine would like. It's really helpful to think of your blog just like a magazine, and we see interviews with relevant subjects in print magazines all the time. This is print magazine. So you can do that on your blog as well. Just make sure you're finding someone that your readers would want to hear from. And the last type of blog post example is a frequently asked questions type of post. And this is where you could repurpose content that may already be on your website. You could take your frequently asked questions section, your FAQ section, and turn it into a blog post with more details, more questions. A lot of FAQ sections are bare bones a lot of the time, and that's fine. That's appropriate for that page on your website. But you could take those bare bones questions and just add more details, add more of that behind the scenes, your point of view, your perspective, so it turns into an engaging blog post to read. So those are 10 topics. You can mix and match them and do them, or use them rather, use them in lots of different ways. They're so general that there are a lot of different variations that you can use. So there are probably way more than 10 actual ideas in this list of 10, and you can reuse them over and over again. The news events one is a very obvious one that you can reuse over and over again. You can make, I'm just giving an example here, you could make a note on your content calendar for once a month to review the news in your industry, and then once a month you have the blog post. It's your news post. You really could use all of these topics to map out a content calendar if you want to use the approach that I just mentioned as an example. Let's say you write a blog post once a week. You could rotate through these topics and pick out your 4 favorites, and then once a month you do a behind the scenes. Once a month you do an industry event. Once a month you do an industry news. Once a month you do what's another one? Oh, you promote other people in your space, just as an example. So you have 4 blog posts a month that you can map out, and you can either repeat those each month or rotate through, these 10 ideas. I probably gave you at least 2 months worth of blog posts if you write once a week. If you pick 8 of these ideas, 4 for 1 month, 4 for another month, and then you just rotate through them. The combinations are endless. Sorry, I just bumped my microphone, so you probably heard some confetti noises as I was announcing that the combinations of these different blog post types are endless. You could come up with the actual formula if you are good at math. But we don't need to go there. We've said enough. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, share it to help other writers find it, subscribe and ring my bell so that you never miss a video for free. Or if you are not into any of these topics and you don't want to use any of them, thumbs down and unsubscribe. If you're still with me, I will talk with you soon.